Hey everyone, Isaac here with GTE and Kapptured. Today joining me I have Mike from the Album Room, owner of the Album Room. Definitely a iconic restaurant in the Fig Garden Shopping Center and definitely a Fresno favorite. Mike, thank you so much for being here.
Isaac, thank you, my friend.
If you guys have ever wondered where to host that rehearsal dinner, retirement party, baby shower, today we're going to actually talk about why Album Room is the perfect spot to do that. We're going to share with you some of the spaces that they can offer you, and we're just excited about working together.
I am too. We've known each other, for a long time, and you've done special events, music-wise,
right?
All aspects of special events. So, I'm really appreciative of us having the time to be able to talk about what we're doing.
Awesome. Yeah. I remember that. I was a smaller company back then. When
you're really big now.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. That's exciting.
Thank you so much. Again, Mike, first of all, thank you for letting us host our industry networking mixer here.
Right.
We do appreciate that. For those who haven't been here, how would you describe the Album Room?
That's really a good question. I get asked a lot of time by folks that have heard of it that haven't been here. With us we're kind of in that upper middle lane. We're a bar and a grill, and it's a place where you're going to see them from moms and dads with babies, suit and tie people at lunch, a lot of business travelers, and you'll see them 80, 90 years old. So it's kind of an eclectic group, culturally, age-wise. And I think that's what gives it kind of an urban bar and grill feel.
Okay. So you've been part of the Fig Garden Shopping Center for a long time.
Yeah, we've been in this location since March of 1997. I bought the Album Room June 1st of 1994 when it was across the street and moved it here when this space became available.
So what do you feel that gives the Album Room that the reputation that you have today?
Well, I think the reputation that we have actually predates me, even though I'm the longest tenured owner. But, going back to 1955 when it opened in that era, you had owners and operators that were right there hands-on, that knew every customer. So, our mantra is, I want you, Isaac, and everybody else to feel like you came into my house. And that type of spirit and attitude has been, foundational, I believe, to the Album Room before I owned it. For sure, since I've owned it for 31 years. And what makes that go, I got a great staff. I mean, some of us have worked together since 1989, even predating me buying the Album Room. And my young staff are dynamite. So often you hear about, these young people aren't that great. And that's baloney. I mean, I've got rock stars. I've got one family, Honor Johnson, who's one of my floor managers, and she also waits some tables here. I've had 5 of her family work here, and I work under the theory that hey Isaac, if you're good, hey, do you have a brother and a sister because you were raised right? So I think the reason why we're perpetuating, growing, and expanding is because of the young people that have been put into our world to help, along with the veterans that have been with me for like 30 years.
And I could definitely attest to that. Me and my staff were here last week. We were waiting to talk with Jessica. And then while we're sitting in the lobby, I must have had 4 or 5 people within a minute. Hey, you guys been taken care of? You guys been taken care of? Yeah. And I feel like good customer service just is hard to come by nowadays. And
yeah, you have to want to do it. And I live by several things that I was trained maybe 50 years ago. These 3 brothers who owned a very prominent restaurant in town articulated it. And the first thing is, I want you to feel like you're in my house. And I want everybody on the team as though we invited you into our home. That's number one. And the other thing is, what the customer, you're the purpose of why we're here. Don't act too busy. And then the third thing, which is really foundational, is all of us, each of us do something each day that has the guest saying, I want to go back there. Right. It could be a simple courtesy or whatever. So I'm really fortunate because I have people that are philosophically lined up that way, which is huge.
Right. So earlier we touched on how I've hosted some of my company Christmas parties here.
Yes.
I want to say that must have been 2014, 2015.
Yep.
Sometime right around there. How has the Album Room evolved since then?
Well, that's a really good question. There's been a big evolution. One is Eric Rodriguez, who's our chef de cuisine. He started around 2014. And I really felt it was critical for the Album Room to be recognized for having really good food. So in our lane, be a top bar and grill. Nick McCoy, who's our corporate chef, joined us about 5 years ago. They take fine dining techniques because they're Michelin star experienced, culinary school trained. They're able to take those types of fine dining concepts, but elevate the bar and grill cuisine. And that's kind of a game changer. So one is for us to be really viewed as a great place to eat. That was critical. Number two was, let's perpetuate the culture and that feeling that I'm inviting you into my home. And I think that's why we've had great growth, but a lot of it is that real commitment to, we need to be a top restaurant in our lane.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like you guys have done just that.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Some of these questions, I was going to ask you, what makes you, or why do you feel that people keep coming back over the years? They just keep coming back. But I feel like you kind of answered that when you said, this is an extension of your home.
No, it really is. What's really cool? Any given day, or if not every day, you might see 3 generations in here. We're close to Bullard High, so we have a strong connection there. But you will see, the grandfather and the son or daughter and their children in, and it could be even one more generation, a fourth one. So, we have customers that literally are still coming in. Jim Palmer, who's an appraiser, Jim's in his early 90s. He was in for lunch the other day. He dined at the original Elbow Room at Palm and McKinley. His family, his son Greg comes in, there's this extension. And I think if you have everybody in the family loving it, it just kind of passes on. And that's why we've been around so long, I believe.
Were you in the business before you purchased the Elbow Room?
Yes, my family was in the bar and restaurant business in San Francisco, which is where I grew up. I came to Fresno to go to college. I worked at the Silver Dollar Hofbrau for the original owners. And then when I was about 26, I bought into the Silver Dollar Hofbrau. I didn't have any money, but I had a buy-in option, and the original owners made it possible for me to buy into their business. So yeah, I own the Silver Dollar Hofbrau. I left there in 1989. I left there in 1994, and I bought the Elbow Room. And to this day, I've been the owner here.
Very cool. For those who haven't been here, what spaces are available to them to rent?
Well, it's a pretty nice array from an ambiance standpoint. Where we're having, our podcast right now, we call this our vineyard patio. Originally, this was a drive-through breezeway. And in 2005, we made it wine country themed. Last year, we totally retrofitted it, insulating it on top. We've got the great garage door windows that open up. We did some winery ambiance here with faux racking some barrels in the winery scene. So, we're giving you a visual and a feel and an ambiance, really not like anything else anywhere. From a banquet room standpoint. So clearly we didn't want to have a banquet room, but it's a place where you can have your special event, but you're having it like you're in Napa Valley. Right. Unique ambiance, indoors and outdoors.
And you have more spaces over there that are available?
We do, and then we have adjacent to it. So this area in total would seat 80. 15 where you and I are sitting, 50 right here, another 30 to 40, so maybe we could get it to 90. So on the right day, we can open it all up. We just did CV Lux's annual event here for David Manning, and I think we had close to 70 people last Thursday night. It was absolutely gorgeous. So we were able to meld the outside and the inside. Now, immediately adjacent to us is our wine cellar dining room, which is really cool because we have 3,000 bottles racked behind glass. All the bottles are horizontal, so you're seeing all the labels. We have an exhibition kitchen on the end. It seats 24 to 25 people. So you want a little boutique-y wine country event there, we can cook in front of you. Same thing out here in terms of, we could combine that room and this room. So those are the two primary areas that we have.
Okay. So I also noticed that you got quite the whiskey collection and fine tequilas.
Excuse me. Well, Daniel McGee, who's my general manager, who's also a business partner now, he has really specialized in that department. So during the pandemic, when everything was turning like upside down, that was a banquet room. And I said, let's make it an essential store like the government would let you then operate.
Right.
So we changed it to a store, but I said, let's put a liquor license here so you can walk in and get fine distilled spirits. We also sell our dry aged beef in there, which is a real delicacy specialty item. But yeah, no, the distilled spirits at a tremendously elevated level. Daniel's done a great job building that department. Jessica Atkinson, our banquet manager, and she not only handles our special events, but Jessica will run the floor, and she and I have a close relationship because she's my oldest stepdaughter, and she worked at Mercedes-Benz for a couple of years. Prior to that, she was here 5 years, but I've got somebody in Jessica that really understands the business and has got great communication skills, and who will adapt to what you want and what you need, because we've got the space and we've got the flexibility on the menus.